Do you want to improve your SAT math score? Easy. Just look up SAT Prep on Amazon and you will find 3,000 results. Get more specific by searching SAT Math Prep Book instead to narrow your search down to just 567 results. Or you could narrow your search down to just 3 books, each of which have been proven to improve the SAT math scores of hundreds of students, including myself and real-life friends of mine who have seen SAT math improvements of 100, 200, even 300 points. Hey guys, Greg Smith here, and today I am going to give you the ultimate guide of SAT math books and other online resources. To compile this list, I have done extensive research. I have reached out to friends and family who have scored perfect 800s on their SAT math sections, and I have sifted through hundreds of College Confidential forums and Amazon reviews. I have also used my own experience as an SAT tutor to determine which books are most readable and easy to self-study with. To keep things organized, I am going to organize these books and resources into different categories. First, I'll discuss the best resources that you can use to find authentic practice tests. Then we'll break down how you can best prepare for the SAT math section depending on your current score. One last thing before we get into this list. Please hit that like button because I am putting lots of hours of work in behind the scenes, especially for research videos like these. If you're new to my channel, I post tons of college admissions related content just like this video. I'm also planning on doing more vlog type videos so you guys can know what it's like to be a Princeton student. So if that's content you're interested in, please hit that like button and subscribe. Now, let's jump right into the ultimate guide for SAT math prep books and materials. I'm starting off my list with practice test materials because throughout my research, all of the 800 scoring SAT math students had one thing in common. They all took practice tests, authentic ones, and lots of them. In fact, one of my high school friends who I just had lunch with last week scored a perfect 1600 on his SAT, and he told me that no prep book he ever used was more useful than just continuous practice. Using high-quality practice tests is crucial so that you can measure your progress as you study for the SAT. And taking practice tests also gets you used to working under time conditions and discovering patterns in the way that the College Board structures their questions. Luckily, the College Board offers the official SAT study guide book with 8 real full-length practice exams. If you don't want to pay for this book, all 8 exams are available online, and I have included a link to both in the description. Now, personally, I would just buy the book for $18 because, this thing is thick, so if you're going to print out all 8 practice exams, you're probably going to waste more than $18 in ink and paper. But the choice is up to you. I've listed both links in the description. Side note, if you plan on buying any of the books that I mentioned in this video, I'd really appreciate it if you just use the links provided in the video description. These links will bring you directly to the Amazon page for the book that I'm describing, so you'll know that you're buying the right book. Also, when you use my links to order your books, I get a small commission that actually helps me to buy stuff such as the camera equipment. It just really supports me a lot at no extra cost to you, so please use those links. Now, if you've burned through those 8 SAT practice tests, luckily for you, there are some online resources you can use to get even more authentic College Board practice problems. Sign up for a free account with Khan Academy to get some real SAT questions. And finally, if you've exhausted all 8 practice tests and Khan Academy, I would argue that using pre-2016 authentic SAT problems is probably more useful than using up-to-date Princeton Review, Barron's fake practice test problems. I've included a link to the old official SAT study guide, which includes 10 full-length practice tests for the old SAT. One other amazing free resource that you can use as you're working your way through these authentic practice tests is the website 1600.io. Basically, this website contains hundreds of detailed video breakdowns of real SAT problems. Whether you're uncomfortable with the material that a question covers, want to know how to solve it more quickly, or simply don't know where to start, using these video breakdowns as you study is incredibly useful to your understanding and to improving your score. Some of the packages on 1600.io cost money, but if if you sign up for an account using the link in the description, you can get detailed answer explanation for official SATs number 1 through 4, 100% for free. Shout out to my brother Chris for telling me about this amazing resource. Now, we're going to discuss the books you will need to best prepare for the SAT math section. There are hundreds, if not thousands of options out there, but I've effectively boiled this down to 3 books that you need depending on your score level. Oh, and by the way, which SAT video would you like to see next? A prep book review for reading and writing? My complete list of SAT math tips? Whatever you guys want, just comment in the description and I will deliver. First, we're going to talk about the best SAT prep book option for students who are currently scoring below the 600 range. If you're currently scoring in this range, the easiest way for you to improve your SAT score past the 600s, even into the 700s, is to fully understand the material being tested. I went on a search for the SAT math prep book with the easiest to understand, most complete content explanations. I wanted to find a book that you could buy, pick up, and just teach yourself the fundamentals of algebra and geometry with. And guys, I have found it. If you need to brush up on the content of the SAT math section, I highly recommend that you get your hands on the Kaplan SAT Math Prep textbook. This book has a whopping 4.9 out of 5 stars on Amazon, and at just $11.50 is the cheapest option on this list. While this Kaplan textbook does not teach you a lot of the time-saving tricks and strategies that a lot of other prep books do, it does have the most complete and easy to understand content explanations ever. The book breaks down math concepts into individual sections with little mini tests that you can use at the end to test if you really understand the material or not. The book also does a great job of avoiding super advanced tangential math topics that are never really covered on the SAT math exam. If you're scoring below or around 600 on the SAT math section right now, and you're looking for a book that will get you the most score improvement in the least amount of time, click the link in the description and buy this book now. It will save you hours of stress. If you're scoring between 600 and 700 on the SAT math section, you have a pretty good grasp of the material being tested. However, you're still being tripped up on some of the trick answers that the College Board puts into their tests. You might be running out of time at the end of each section, or you might be unable to solve the last few questions in each section due to their difficulty. You aren't aware of the many flaws inherent in a multiple choice math test, and you certainly don't know how to take advantage of those flaws effectively. So I recommend to you the Pwned the SAT Math Guide. The Pwned the SAT Math Guide goes through the content of the SAT math section systematically. It doesn't explain the material as fully or as smoothly as Kaplan does. Instead, it teaches you the quickest and easiest ways to arrive at the correct solution, even if you're not really solving the problem in a traditional way. As the author says in the preface of the textbook, you need to not only learn the material, but also learn to identify opportunities to circumvent long-way solutions with either deft calculator skills or non-mathy techniques like plugging in numbers. If you study this book through and through, and supplement your practice with authentic SAT tests, it is fully possible to arrive at a score of 800 on test day. Read the reviews yourself if you're not convinced. I've included a link in the video description to the Pwned the SAT Math Guide. Now, I've mentioned that if you use the Pwned the SAT Math Guide correctly, it can get you into the high 700s and even to that highly coveted perfect math score. But for those of you who aren't convinced and want to be rock solid sure that you're walking out of that test center having scored an 800 in math, I have the perfect recommendation for you. I used this book when I was studying for the SAT math section, and warning, it is overkill. The sheer amount of practice problems and extra material taught in this book would probably be scary to 90% of the population. But for the crazy 10%, which SAT math book do I recommend? None other than Dr. John Chung's SAT math textbook. This book includes 60 high-level tips for the SAT math section, aimed at helping you to eliminate answer choices effectively, identify patterns in SAT math questions, and pick up the pace without sacrificing accuracy. The book also includes a whopping 16 full-length practice tests, which you can use to supplement your learning, but not as a replacement for authentic College Board tests. I remember that after working through Dr. Chung's SAT math textbook, the authentic College Board questions were ridiculously easy. Warning, if you're not already consistently scoring in the 700s, do not buy Dr. John Chung's SAT math book. It will be a waste of $28 and you will be very sad. The target audience for this book is high achievers who are already scoring well on the SAT but want to ensure that they will get an 800 every time. That said, if I just described you, absolutely go buy it. This is by far the best SAT math prep book on the market, and I have the most updated edition of the book in this video's description. These books have helped me, my real-life friends and family, and hundreds of people online to improve their SAT math scores by hundreds of points. But like I mentioned earlier, buying these books is a waste of money if you're not sure exactly how to self-study for the test. That's why I made this video, which teaches you exactly how to self-study for the SAT step by step. Save yourself hours of stress and watch that right now. Oh, but before you do, just give this video a like if you haven't already. Like, come on, man, it's just the click of a button and it costs nothing and it just shows me how appreciative you are of this content. And also, please subscribe if you want to encourage me to keep posting free content for you online. That's it for today, guys. Peace.